Hola, marhaba. Welcome to a series I'm calling Let's Bake, in which we'll be learning how to bake the most basic of breads. And today we'll be baking a white bread loaf from scratch. Bread holds a central place in tables, restaurants, and in our kitchens. It holds traditional value, like the mystical bread of Shabbat, manna raining from the sky, or the body of Christ. You need only a few ingredients to make bread. The few ingredients being flour, salt, yeast, oil, and water. There's three main steps when making bread. The first is kneading, the second is shaping, and the third is baking. So let's start! Place the flour in the bowl. Pour salt on one side of the bowl. Rotate the bowl. Pour yeast on the opposite side of the bowl. Place the butter inside the bowl. I like to pour half the water first and then the rest gradually. Using your hand, mix the dough together. This is not considered kneading yet. Add more water as necessary here. I like to remember the statement, the wetter the better. Since this is a white bread loaf we're looking for, you don't want to make it too soggy. This looks like something we can work with. Move the dough to a workable surface. Pour some oil onto a work surface. Place the dough onto the oil and knead for 5 to 15 minutes. Kneading to me is the most important process in bread making. It builds up the gluten and it makes sure that you have a stretchable dough. Initially, I do like to start off by pressing the dough onto the table. I like to place the dough back into my hands and create my hands as a sort of working environment. Here's another glimpse of what it looks like right now. After about 15 minutes, you should have a dough that looks similar to this. Get out your proving bowl. Pour some oil onto the proving bowl. Place your dough inside the oiled bowl. Using a kitchen towel, cover the bowl. Here, we prove the bread for 2 to 3 hours. Once it is proved, press down on the dough to see if it rises back up. Get out a loaf tin. Pour some flour onto the surface. Roll out your dough, making sure that none of it sticks to the bowl. Roll the bread down and knock any of the air particles out, making sure it is flatter. Here we fold in the sides and roll it into a ball on the bottom. After rolling it into a ball, we extend it out into a longer loaf-like shape. Then we place the dough down into a loaf tin. Looking here, I can tell that I'm going to need a new loaf tin. Use a large bag to prove the second time. Preheat your oven to 445 degrees. Here we will prove the bread for 60 minutes. Throw some flour into the top of the dough. Using your hand, smooth it out onto the top of the dough. Cut the dough 3 times diagonally. Pour water onto a roasting tray in order to create steam. This will make the outside layer have a better crust. Then, bake for 30 minutes at 445 degrees Fahrenheit. As soon as the bread is done, remove from the loaf tin. One of the most important steps is to check to see if the bread is complete. Tap the bottom of the bread to make sure it sounds hollow. If you have put too much flour on it initially, rub some of it off with a paper towel. Now let's cut into it to see what it looks like. Thank you for watching. Next time,